Welcome to Hey Tabi, the podcast where we talk about the hard things out loud with our actual lips. We'll cover all kinds of topics across the mental health spectrum, including how it intersects with the Christian faith. Nothing is off limits here, and we are not take 2 verses and call me in the morning. I'm Tabitha Westbrook, and I'm a licensed trauma therapist, but I'm not your trauma therapist. I'm an expert in domestic abuse and coercive control, and how complex trauma impacts our health and well-being. Our focus here is knowledge and healing. Trauma doesn't have to eat your lunch forever. There is hope. Now, let's get going. Hey, I am Tabitha Westbrook, and I am a trauma therapist. And we are hanging out today with a really cool friend of mine.
Hi, my name is Shae, and I'm a somatic body coach. So I like to bring somatic work into body movement, and I really like to talk about safety, compassion, and curiosity when it comes to body and somatics.
And I think that is super awesome. I bring somatics into the therapy room, and Shae brings that into the coaching space. And what we're going to do today is we're going to invite you in to our friendship and invite you into a little bit of what it looks like to co-regulate with your friends. I think that we forget often that physical proximity with our friends is super helpful and important.
And sometimes it takes us a while to learn that that's what you get.
Absolutely.
It is so nourishing. I found it really nourishing.
Yeah, it is. It's life-giving, right? I know that a lot of us feel like when we go out with friends, we're like, oh, that was so great. We should do it again. And then for like 6 years, and you're like, we didn't do it again, but we are missing out on such goodness when we in that same space.
Yeah, I feel like too, with just attunement and co-regulating, it can just be that a night of fun, a night of laughing, a night of doing like basic living together, or it can be like an intentional going into some deeper thing.
Yeah.
And both of those are very healing and offer that relation.
Absolutely. They do. I think when we think about the co-regulation piece, right? Like, have you ever had one of those days where you're like, it's not good. Today's not been a good day. All the things have happened. And you are like, hey, I come over, or you're coming over to my place or something. What change happens in someone's body when you get together and you're not in a great place?
Yeah, I feel like again, safety is huge.
Mhm.
And sometimes just having that presence of a friend can offer that. Just being on the same couch or just watching a movie together. So it doesn't have to be like really intense. It could just be being in the same space together. And it's comforting. It feels safe. There's someone with you. You're not alone. I notice a lot of times just just something kind of softens. I notice that naturally I'm tense and I think it's protective, but
Yeah.
with friendships that are your people that you call, I think it allows your body a chance to relax and soften.
Yes.
And not carry all that weight alone, because it knows, hey, I've got Tabitha here.
Right. Yeah. I'm not by myself. And I believe as human beings, we forget often that we are created for community, right? We need each other, like actual people, and not just online, although it's great. And I'm so glad that we can do that, because you and I live actually pretty far apart. And, but it's such a good thing when we get to be in physical presence, and our bodies respond to each other. I know that like when I'm with somebody that I care about and I've had a really hard day, my body does relax, and there's like, it's almost like that big, deep breath feeling,
Yeah, that's a great
when you're like, wow, I can't let it all go.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden my shoulders are no longer my earrings and all of those things. Like my earrings get to stay there by themselves. Yeah. And it's such a good thing. I know when we've talked about how some of the physical co-regulation happens just being together, right? Like you and I are sitting here looking at each other and our bodies are responding to that comfort level and to just being together. And then there's also physical touch between friends. So I know that can be hard if somebody's a trauma survivor, because like physical touch can get really dicey. How would you help somebody maybe invite that in with a safe person, like a safe friend?
Yeah, I think I love that you use the word invite, because I think it's really important to always offer an invitation instead of just assuming, If I have a friend who's I know's called me over, they're in a hard space, it's really heavy, I might just ask, "Hey, can I put this blanket on you?" And just give some weight to their shoulders, like a side
Mhm.
hug kind of, or sometimes holding hands, just like
Mhm.
pressure on hands, just it's like a support.
Mhm.
I think again, inviting and asking is important because they may not want it.
Right.
But if they do, it's just beautiful how our bodies, our nervous systems do. My regulated state can offer that support to my friend who's feeling dysregulated and in a heightened and overwhelmed state.
Yeah.
I think asking, offering, inviting,
Mhm.
and not just doing, because that could be
Right.
startling or surprising, and they may not be ready for that.
Right. And in some cases, if there's a lot of just activation,
Yeah,
people might not quite, like, their brain may need to wrap itself around the idea of, like, actually being touched by another human being,
Yeah.
which is a whole thing.
Mhm.
And that's important. And so I'm a raging extrovert. Yeah. Realistically, I mean, like, anybody who knows that, definitely a raging extrovert. And I had to learn when I was a younger wee lass that, like, you can't just hug everybody. They are not appreciative.
Appreciative, yeah.
And you're like, oh. But when I learned that and I was like, hey, can I give you a hug? Is it okay?
Yeah.
What feels good to you? What's comfortable for you? Because I'm almost always down for a hug.
Yeah.
If I say I'm not, you should probably check me.
Yeah.
I'm just not good.
That's a sign. You do love hugs. I love your hugs as well.
But knowing, hey, especially if I don't know somebody well, like, is it okay if I hug you? How would that feel to you? Is there something that would be better? Would you like me to just away from, far distance, which at least 6 feet? Would you like me to wave from 6 feet away? And honoring that for somebody.
Yeah.
And even in that, you're co-regulating.
You are. Yeah, you're giving them choices. And one thing that is so important in, I feel like, all healing work and somatic work is we do have a choice that we don't always know we have. So
Yeah.
that and having that agency, they may be very overwhelmed, very dysregulated. And when you get there, you're not thinking about choices. You're just in that spot and it's all consuming. And so when you have someone come alongside and offer you a choice, I feel like that's very soothing, very regulating, and it gives them that option.
Right.
It kind of lets them know, oh, there is another, I can do this. I can hold their hand. I can sit beside them.
And that gives your body safety, that choice, right? Because when I know it's not a have to, but I get to or I can, then I'm not feeling trapped and unsafe and unsettled.
Yes, those are all good words to use. Yeah, and those words are heavy feelings when you're in that space.
Yeah, absolutely. So if, like, let's say that I was having a really hard time, how would you enter in with me to, like, maybe do some somatic touch with me that might feel safe?
Yeah, I mean, I would first ask if you're okay with it. And I would probably ask, is there anywhere specifically like that you don't want touch, or is there anywhere specific that you do? That might feel like too many choices. I could also ask, where do you feel heavy or where do you feel tense? And if you say like my shoulders, I could say, hey, can I put my hand on your shoulder? Can I?
Yes, you can.
And I would just gentle, and it feels awkward. You're staring in someone's eyes and you're touching their shoulder, but it does help your body just release.
It
And
does.
it feels like, oh, my friend is here. I'm safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like holding hands, eye contact, even if they don't want touch, eye contact is very regulating and attuning. It releases oxytocin, which is that good, feel good emotional connective hormone.
Right.
Yeah. I ask, and then based on their response, I might ask another question or offer something.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I feel like, if people are, if they're able to describe what their overwhelm feels like, you can maybe get more guidance. Like if people feel like they're unstable or kind of like floaty, it might be nice to say, hey, can I put my hands like on your knees and just kind of like pressure down to the floor? It can feel grounding.
Grounded. Yeah. Yeah. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And so I just want to observe, because I'm always noticing my own body. That's something that I've learned how to do. So, like, I want to just observe, like, what it was like when you touched my shoulder. Like, I did feel my body just go, Like, it felt so nice. I was like, oh, that feels really good. And it's because I trust you and I know you. Like, if somebody on the street did that, it wouldn't be the same feeling. But like, it really did feel like, oh, this is so nice. I think that is something that I hope that folks give a try with safe people in their lives.
Yeah, I hope so too. And that you find those people, and it can be one person. It doesn't mean you have to have a ton of people that you feel that way with. Just one person. And it is such a gift. And also, if you aren't ready for that and you have a pet, yes, I'm telling you, if you have a dog and they will come snuggle with you, that's something very regulating for me.
Absolutely.
Is my dog. He thankfully likes to sit with me, but his smell, his weight, our pets can be very
very co-regulating. I would say too, if you need to start with your pet, or a stuffed animal. Like, I mean, it's not the same because they don't have a heartbeat, and there's not the same interaction, but also finding that community that is for you, to have those physical moments.
Yes.
You and I got to see each other over the summer, and there was the most amazing hug. And I think about that, and I think about how much more I loved you, and just was like, Shae, so good. Like, after that hug, which is a really sweet hug. And I think those are things that carry us through, because that was like a while. It was several months ago at this point.
Yeah. It was like it wasn't, but it was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah. But I still hold it with me. So even that can be such a life-giving thing.
Yeah, that's a good, when we talk about resourcing, even to pull from, to remember that time and how that felt.
Yeah. Talk about resourcing.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I love resourcing. It was a gift given to me along my healing journey, but it's a time that you felt safe, an experience where you felt regulated. So we talk about that hug, and it was a moment in time, and it was a glorious, safe, grounding, calming, regulating hug. And so we can say, maybe one day Tabitha can't come over to my couch, right? And I'm at home and I'm really needing that healing again. I can pull from that hug that was months ago. That can be a resource for my nervous system and for my body and for my mind to remember, like, this is possible for you. Like, you can feel this way, even in this moment. Like, you have this option, and kind of help bring your body to that state of regulation, that resource from that.
Yeah. And I think it also brings anticipation, right? And we were talking about getting together today and talking about cool stuff.
Yeah.
I was super excited. I was like, I get to be in the same room with Shae.
It's on my calendar.
And it was such a delight. And I think it builds that delight to have those moments with people that you care about, that are those like good hugs, or holding their hand, or watching a movie sitting side to side on the couch. And those are things that really breed that pleasant, encouraging friendship, and really do form the basis of building trust, because our bodies know.
They do. They really do. I love them for that.
Yes.
And I feel like it can be a journey getting there and trusting your body what it's telling you.
Yeah.
But they're so wise, and they protect us.
I mean, we were created pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, and I do think when you've had a trauma history, right? Abusive individuals in particular, abusive situations, really encourage you to stop listening, because your body is keeping the score and telling the truth, and you're being essentially gaslit into not hearing it.
Yeah.
And so part of healing is reclaiming that relationship and the ability to hear what your body is saying to you about what's happening and what is safe. And I think it's Stephen Porges, that's the name of the dude, talks about neuroception and how our autonomic nervous system is always looking, always scanning, always looking for threat.
Yeah.
And when we have a safe person in our lives, our bodies know. And we know, oh, I'm safe with this person. And so when you touch me, my body already knows you to be safe. And it goes, oh, this is nice. It's so good. Yeah. And it's a warm hug, physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
It is. I love hugs.
Hugs are awesome.
But if you don't love hugs, I will say there's hope. I did not like to be touched well into my 30s. And so I'm like a different person now. But like, I didn't want you to hug me. I didn't want you to sit by me. And now I'm just like, I can't wait to hug my friends.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to be near you. And I think that's how we're made to be. And I think, like you said, abuse tries to steal that from us.
Absolutely.
And so when we get to reclaim it, like that's our birthright, honestly. Like,
Yes.
that's ours to claim. And so it's a beautiful journey to come back to that place. And I think that it may sound small to like receive a hug and love a hug, but that's something to celebrate.
Absolutely. And if someone is neurospicy, right? So you can be neurodivergent. That might be like, and all of my synapses are completely shorting out. I think there's still healthy touch even in that. It just may look a little bit different. So it might not be a full-on hug, or it might be a tighter hug than somebody is used to. I know that my kiddo's on the spectrum, and so his hugs are very tight. And that's okay. Yeah. You might be saying, I am definitely neurodiverse and that better not happen. And that's okay too. Yeah. You might go better with a like handshake or holding a hand or an hand on an arm.
Shoulder.
Yeah.
Like
side by side, because I know for folks who are very neurodiverse, if you are potentially on the spectrum, this would feel very uncomfortable for sure.
Eye contact, face to face.
Yeah. But side by side, parallel, is still physical touch and still really helping with that co-regulation. It just looks a little bit different, and people can be creative in what works for you.
That's what I love about somatic work, is just being aware that everyone's story is different, everyone's body is different, everyone's tolerance is different, and it is such a gift when someone invites you into that. Yeah, that part of their journey. It really is.
It is. It's definitely. That's awesome. So, what is one takeaway that you think would be really helpful for people who are like just starting to orient to, thinking about their bodies and also like somatic touch with friends?
Yeah, I would just say the pace at which you're expecting to go with this journey or wanting to go, no, it's going to be slower.
That's right.
And I would say, I feel like a lot of times if you are, have a trauma background or abuse background, you may be wired to, and I speak from experience too, but maybe it's not everyone's, wired to want to like be done and do it right and do it quick and finish and fix all those things. I think compassion towards yourself is huge. Curiosity, just acceptance. Like if you're feeling something that you don't like or you have perceived as bad or wrong, try and remove those thoughts and views toward it, and just, it is what it is. It's here now. And just kind of like, again, hold space for it.
And go slow, right?
Very slow.
I do think you're so correct in that it can be so all or nothing for people. And I know if you have been in those spaces, you just want to feel better. Yeah. You want to heal. You want it to be different. You're just like, I can't, I got to be done. But honor the pace your body can tolerate. Yeah. And some days you're moving forward, and then some days you're like, I think I just hit a wall. There it is, that wall.
On the floor again.
And and it's okay. Yeah. To feel like, oh, I've gone backward, because you really haven't. Right. One day is a day. 1 week is a week. Yeah. And it takes time.
And I love something that you said earlier, was that the things that you're experiencing or feeling, a symptom, a sensation, whatever it is, it's been there all along. Yeah. And so you, one, are capable of being with it. And you've already done it. It's just maybe showing up in a new way. Right. Because it can be a little bit scary when it's new, right?
Yeah. Yeah. If you've like lived your life cut off from your body, and all of a sudden you're like, wonder what my body's thinking about. And you're like, oh my goodness. You can feel pretty big. Yeah. We have already held all of this. Yeah. The body didn't stop keeping the score because we weren't paying attention. The body was just racking up the points, right? And so when we start paying attention, it is comforting to know we have already lived this. It is already with us. Maybe we didn't notice like we notice now, but it's always been there. And I have handled it well enough to get here. Yeah. Right? Can we always grow and adapt? Yeah. Of course. Healing takes us each next step, but we can honor where we've come from and honor how our bodies have cared for us, protected us, operated in such a way that we got to this point.
Yeah, we got here.
And then they can heal even more.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to think about it as a relationship. And so, you may say, okay, I'm ready. I want to do somatic work. What's my body saying? What's it doing? What's it thinking? And it's slow. It's going to take time.
Right.
It's like building that trust with your body again, and it revealing what it's been carrying all these years to you may take time.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight, but no, like you just said, it's protecting you. It knows, it's like, what are you ready for? What can I trust you with?
Right.
You know, it is important to know it's going to be slow and to give yourself grace, to not rush, and like no shame. There's no shame involved.
Right.
It just is what it is.
Yeah. And everybody's process is different. So don't look at your friend and be like, oh, you're in such a different place. You're doing it better. First of all, we don't grade like that.
Yeah. Then
That's not how it works.
Right.
But everybody is going to take the process that they need for their body. And unless your friend is in your body with you, which is weird and should not happen, like that feels very Silence of the Lambsy not good. Like, don't do that. Oh, don't be creepy. You know? If that happens, and I have a whole other set of questions. But like, your process is going to be what it is for you. Yeah. And that's okay. And your friend's process will be what it is for them.
Right.
And I think that is also one of the beauties of being together as friends is that you can encourage each other and hold up each other's arms in it and go, oh man, I've been there. Oh, I'm sure I'm going to get there, or whatever it is, and just be in it together and know you're not alone.
Yes. Yeah.
It's been so fun hanging out with you and talking about this.
It's been really
I love it. I love it so much.
I want to do it again.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you want to find Shae, we're going to have her information in the description. Go check her out. She's amazing.
Yeah, would love to meet you. Love to learn more about you.
Absolutely. She does like very cool somatic like workshops and one-on-one work with people. So if you're like, I'd like to learn how to get into my body, the world is your taco, and Shae should be one of the ingredients, honestly.
I love that for us.
So definitely reach out to her. If you're like, I want to get some therapy, like I got to process some stuff, our team's got your back. And if you're like, I'd like to combine the two, well, Shae and I can do that with you. And if you're like, I'm interested in maybe an intensive with Shae and Tabitha, then we would love to have you come to Central North Carolina and hang out with us and do some of that work. So thank you, friend.
Beautiful.
So cool hanging out with you today.
Yes.
Is it okay if I hug you?
Yeah.
It's absolutely. Oh, go Bones. Love you. So awesome. Thanks for joining me for today's episode of Hey Tabi. If you're looking for a resource that I mentioned in the show and you want to check out the show notes, head on over to tabithawestbrook.com/Hey Tabi. That's HEYTABI, and you can grab it there. I look forward to seeing you next time.